everyone, it's Diane from Diane. Hope you had a lovely week, and I would love to show you how we made this card. This card is called a magic wallet or a Jacob's ladder card. So let me show you how it works. You open it up and it's a gift card holder. So, or money holder, depends on what you want. And you have your little saying on this side and your envelope on this side. You close it up and you open it up. Oh, look at that, the envelope's on this side and the notes is on that side. Back to there. How gorgeous is that? How clever is that? So this is the card I'm going to show you how to make. So let me show you what pieces we need and let's get on with it, shall we? So we're going to need 4 pieces of card that measure 3.5 inches by 5 inches. And we need 4 pieces of card that measure 3.25 inches by 4 3/4 inches, and 4 pieces of designer series paper that measure 3 inches by 4.5 inches. Now, I have done some of the prep work. So I've done 2 with stripes, which are going to be my inside, and 2 with snow seam that are going to be for the outside. So I will go through that with you when we do stick the last one together. We're going to need, for your tag on the front of the card, I'm only doing 2 layers, but you could do 3. So if you're doing 3 layers, you need 3 pieces of cards that measure 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. But I'm only doing 2 layers. I'm doing a green and a berry vanilla. I couldn't think what it's called. And so they'll come out of the 2 3/4 inch square pieces, and they're using the layering circles, and these are the ones I use, which are, let's see, this one here, which is 1 2 3 4 5th size in the plain, and the 1 2 3 4 5th size in the scallop ones. So they're the 2 sizes we're going to use, and you need 2 of each of those. And once again, I've already done one already. So we're also going to need 2 tags for the bottom of my card, and this depends on what you want to do, but this is what I'm doing on this card. And so you need 2 pieces of card that measure, I can't remember how much this measures now, 3/4 inch. Yep, 3/4 inch by 4 1/4 inches. So you'll also need 4 pieces of ribbon that measure about 6 inches in length. So, and that's all we need. So let me put this on this side, and I'm turning my page over so that I can go through this. I have my little cheat sheet here. So if you would like the tutorial for this, you will find this on Diane for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. It's a written tutorial, and it will have all the how to make it, put it together instructions there. So let's start by, we're going to glue these pieces together so that we know where we're going. Alright, so you can do all of it with the same colour top, inside and out, but I'm actually doing mine in 2 different colours, or 2 different styles, I should say, not colours, so that the inside definitely looks different to the outside. And I think this is going to really stun a few people. It's a really lovely card. Okay, so that's our 3 layers on all 4 pieces stuck together. So these are not going to be my fronts, so I don't need those at the moment. I need my 2 insert pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit of painter's tape, which is low tack tape. I'm going to cut that off, break that off. I'm just going to pop that on the back of my hand to make it even more low tack. And I'm going to put 2 pieces of ribbon onto my piece card here in an X shape. Okay, so we don't want the too wide, because we have the other ribbons to go with it. So we want it about like that. And I'm just going to pop this tape over the top so that I can move it around without it going everywhere. And I'm going to turn that over, and I'm now going to put some double-sided tape. Now you can pop it on here like so, right? Whoops, I've got it upside down. You can pop it onto here like this, or we can turn it over and pop it over like so. Let's turn this around because I need them on the left hand side. On the left hand side I need to put 2 pieces of tape and lift that up and fold them under. So, whoops, let's get that one off there, get off there, there you go, and fold this one under. The tighter you can get your ribbon without being backing up the card, you know, like bending the card, the better. So what we're going to do next is we are going to then butt this one with the same side up against this one like so, so that they are even top and bottom. And we're going to put some more tape on these. So let's find my edge of my tape. Here we go. And what we're going to do this time is we're going to lift them up and put the tape on the underside. Can you see that? So let's do that on the other one. Oh gosh, I keep losing the end of my tape. And I'll pop that one up there like so. Put my tape on this side here. So now I'm going to make sure they're butted right up against each other nice and tightly, and that they're even at the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to pop that down like so, and the same on this one here. Pop that one down there. Okay, so we've got an X on one side and the tape on 2 sides like so. What we're going to do next is we're going to take our other 2 pieces of ribbon and we're going to pop them inside like this. We're going to thread them underneath the part on the one side, on the side that has this tape on it, and over the top like so. And now we're going to, I don't remember what I'm going to do next. I'm going to glue these down onto here. So now I'm going to glue these onto this side here. So let's get some more tape and pop on these pieces here and here. And we will pop this off here, making sure that it's still nice and even, it hasn't moved any, and then we're going to glue those down like so. And with the other ones, we're going to do exactly the same as we did before, when I can find the end on the tape. Oh my goodness, this is pretty bad when you can't find the ends, isn't it? So we're going to turn them over and put the tape on the back of it. And then on the back of this one as well. And then we're going to remove the release tape off of that and glue that down onto there. So now we have our 2 pieces that look exactly the same on both sides. So let's turn that over and it should look like that. See that? Oh yes. Let's pull that tape off of there. Being very careful, making sure that you pull it off so you don't damage your paper. And let's pop something in there, which we have. I didn't tell you the pound size of these pieces, so we've just popped that in there. We'll close our card, whoops, and open it again, and yes, it works. So, oh, it's a little bit too tight. I've done it a tiny little bit too tight, so let's move that out a tiny bit. We don't want it quite that tight. Want it tight, but we don't want it so tight that it won't move. So let's see if that'll work again. That's better. Oops, that one's come undone. And the other one has too. Oh my goodness, I'm really not doing good here, am I? So So let's pull that back over there, and we don't have to worry too much. These are going to be trapped inside, so oops. I think it needs to be over a tiny bit more. That looks a bit better. That one's just a little bit not right. This one needs to go a little bit higher. Right, so, oh gosh, no, I did the wrong one. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. There we go. Look at that. That's better. Right, so what we're going to do next is we are going to glue these onto here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put another piece of tape over the top of those to make sure they don't move at all. Now, you could have done this in the first place, and it doesn't really matter one way or the other. But it just goes to prove that I'm no different than anybody else. I can still make little boo-boos. But it is not that a harder card, actually. It's or length-wise. So we've pulled them release tapes off of there. And what we're going to do is now we're going to put lots of glue onto this side. And make sure these are nice and level. And we're going to make sure that we put our glue right up into the corners, over the ribbon, all the way around. And then over the top of the release, the double-sided tape, and making sure you've got plenty on the ribbon as well. That way it will slide while you're trying to get it into position. And lots of glue, because you want it to be very, very stuck down. So we don't want to be skimpy on our glue at all. And we're going to then pop one of these onto the top of this, making sure that it sits nice and even all the way around. And the best way to do that is to pick it up and give it a shake and a juggle and everything else, and then nicely push it down tight so that it sits on the front. And that's the one side. The other side, making sure, if you have got like me and up the correct pattern the same way, that you, when you turn it over and do the same on the other side, that it is the design is the same way around, because you don't want one upside down and one up the wrong way, up the right way. So I'm putting extra tape on here so that it helps give it a little bit extra strength. And I'm using my picky tool this time to get these pieces off, which is a bit easier than trying to do it with my fingers. And once again, I'm going to pop lots of glue on this right around the edges again, over the top of the ribbon and over the ribbon and the release tape, the double-sided tape. And then plenty all the way around the rest of it. Once again, just to make sure that it will stick down and the ends will not lift up, which will allow the ribbon to eventually come out, and we don't want that at all. So making sure that we've got this the same way up. Yes, we're going to pop this one on this side, and we're going to do the same again. We're going to play that juggling trick where you stand it up and make sure it all goes together nice and neatly. And once you're happy with that, we can press down on the whole thing, and there you go, we have our card. Woohoo! So while that is drying, because that will take a little bit to dry, and I'm going to squeeze around the edges just to make sure that the edges are all nice and neatly together. So while that is doing, we will do the rest of it. Now, I've done one, and oh, I didn't tell you what stamp set we're using either. and I didn't bring the stamp set in here, so I'm using the Doves of Hope, I think it's called, stamp set. I'm really doing really well today, aren't I? So, and I'm going to stamp just the dove onto my piece of very vanilla card here, and this time I'm using soft suede. So I'm going to just stamp this onto here, and while I've got that out, I'm going to stamp Peace, Joy and Love from the same set, and I'm stamping that, I don't know where. What I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to use my punch that has the banner punch. It does both suede banners, so I'm going to pop that in there and I'm going to punch that off first. That way I'll know where to place it. So now I'll bring in the stamp. It'll be easier to do it that way. And then I will stamp close to the banner end. And then I've already done the other one, so what I will do now is I will actually put the two on, one on top of the other, and just using my scissors trim the other one so that it matches the same length. Now while that's sitting there like that, and I forgot to glue these two together. Well, that wasn't very clever, was it? So let's do that now too. And you'll just see just the tiniest little bit of green popping out from behind that. Now I have my tag to go in my card, which I forgot to tell you the size of, and this tag is like an insert tag, and this measures 4 inches by 2.5 inches. So on this piece I have these beautiful words that say, "May your season be filled with all the wonder and blessings of Christmas." So let's pop that on there, and we will stamp that down near the bottom, I think, so that I can then stamp another bird. Ouch, I already broke one fingernail today. Let's break another one. My bird on the top here. And that's our insert piece. So while we're leaving that there to dry, we will work on the outside of our card again. So now that this is dried, we can see that this is going to be working, and what we want to do is we want to make sure that the front and the back are identical. This way, it doesn't matter which way up someone has it, it will look good. So we're going to pop our sentiment and our circle tag onto the front of the card and the back of the card. So let's pop this one is the one I did earlier, and I muffed it up, so I had to stamp on the other side, but never mind. That way you get to see I make mistakes too. So let's pull this off of here. Oops. And we will glue our dove onto the front of the card along with our tag at the bottom. Now I'm going to stick my tag so that it doesn't come over the top there, but if I put my finger here, then I will know that on the other side it will be in the same place. So now I'll turn this over, I'll pop these on the other side so they match up. Oops, get off of there and off of there. So let's see. Yes, if I put my finger there like that, we will have that in the right spot. You can use a ruler and mark it if you want, or you can just use your finger the same as I do. And that is the front of our card. We will now pop our insert into the inside of our card, and while we're waiting, we're going to now make our envelope. So our envelope is made using the envelope punch board, and you will need a piece of, I've got copy paper here because I don't want it too thick to go inside, and I'm using my 123 punch board from Memory Keepers because I've had this forever. And you will need a piece of card that paper that measures 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. So let me turn these pages over so I can find out how to make this up. Oh, here we go. Making the envelope, you will need this piece of card, and you'll need to pop it in at the 2-inch mark, which is 5 centimeters in the metric scale. And you're going to punch it, and that didn't punch very well, yes, and score it. Then when you put it in again, you turn it 90 degrees and you line up your score line with, I don't know if you can see it very well, there's a marker here on the side, and you line that up with the edge of that marker there, and you punch again and you score again. Oops, that didn't punch out very well. This board is not good at punching on very thin card. That's the only thing I've found. Oh, paper. That's one thing I've found. But then we turn it again, and then another 90 degrees, and we do exactly the same. So there we go. That's printed better, and we score it. It didn't do very well again. Never mind. We can trim them off. No one will ever know, as they say. And then we do it one more time, lining up once more, and scoring. And once again, they did not punch. You know, I did it the other day for the other one that I made, and it cut beautifully on all 4 sides. This time it didn't want to cut any of the sides. Never mind, that's life. We will pop this board out of the way, get rid of our bits and pieces, and we will now fold and burnish all these score lines. You will find that your ends will be, like your long ends will be too long. So what I always do is I just trim them off. So I trim them off on both ends. And I will put a piece of this tape, this double-sided tape, down each side of my envelope. Ready to go. But before I take my tape off there, I will turn this over and I will stamp once more my dove in the top right hand corner, and my peace, love and joy and love in the bottom. Now this will hold money, like paper money or plastic money these days, or it will hold a gift card this size. So once we're finished with that, we can turn these back over, pull the tape, release tape off the top of those two, and pop that up there, and our envelope is now ready to go into our card. Now I don't have a credit card or gift card or anything here on my desk, so I can't show you that it does fit in there, but it does fit in there. And if you pop that in there, okay, it looks beautiful. The person will know that you've sent them a message. You can write something on there as well. So let's say this is our card. We go, oh, isn't that gorgeous? We can close it, and look at that. Now it's on the other side and the envelope's there. Oh, I love it. What do you think? That's a fantastic card, easy to make. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please leave me a thumbs up. If you would like the written tutorial for this card, please head over to Diane for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. It is my Facebook group and it is free to join, and everything there is free. You just have to ask to join. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.